welcome back to Movie Review Mom. But if this is the very first time you visited my channel, yay, I'm so glad you found me. My goal is to give you the heads up on filmmaking quality and content so that you can make the best decision for you and your family as to whether or not you want to spend time or money or both watching a specific film. So today, the movie I'm reviewing is called Uta, Keeping the Spirit. This inspirational documentary was written and produced by Kurt Wipfli. I hope I'm pronouncing his name correctly. It's now available on Amazon, iTunes, Google Play, DirecTV, In Demand, Vubiquity, and Microsoft. So you've got lots of online streaming choices. This documentary is rated G and is an hour and 12 minutes. My overall movie review mom grade is a B. So let me tell you a little bit about this. I'll give you an overview in a nutshell, and then I'll point out things I liked and didn't like, as well as offer tips for parents, themes worth talking about, interesting lines, funny lines if there are any, and even recommendations for other films that are sort of similar that you might also like. Ready? Let's dive in. In a nutshell, this sweet documentary was directed by Aaron Lee Lopez, and the film follows the bold, daring, and impossible to ignore Uta. The German singer/songwriter brings her uplifting anthems to a global stage. She has amassed a following in the millions worldwide for her inspiring story and irresistibly infectious positive attitude and outlook on life. Here's one artist that's impossible to put in a box. Ute is always pushing boundaries and trying different sounds, though they can be distinguished by her soft, low voice over a solid jazz adult contemporary backbone. So even in hard times, Ute keeps her dream alive as she loves nothing more than to connect with others through her songs in hopes of inspiring others to follow their dreams, because that's exactly what she's doing. All right, so there were a lot of things that I liked about this documentary. First of all, some Americans may not be familiar with her, Ute Lemper. She's an award-winning singer, composer, even painter and actress from Münster, Germany. Her mother, in fact, was an opera singer. So if she doesn't look familiar to her, definitely check out some of her performances on her YouTube channel, which is called Ute Lemper's Music. She's quite a performer, especially in her younger years. She sings and speaks German, Spanish, French, and English fluently. We get to watch Ute record some of her new music in a sound studio, and that's the bulk of the movie. The lyrics become much more meaningful as we learn about her personal life. So it kind of switches back from telling us the story about her and her life and where she is now to watching her perform in the sound studio and recording new music. It's fascinating to hear what's important to her after all of her fame and fortune, basically her dogs and her parents and family. It's lovely to see how supportive Ute's siblings are. In fact, we even get to see some of them being interviewed. How wonderful for her to be able to have film crews follow her around, interested in her life, even still after this many years, allowing her to see that people are still interested in her and her music and her talents, despite her current physical limitations. It's also touching to hear Ute speak so lovingly about her parents. In her new songs, you can hear the sorrow that she feels after their deaths, yet she still has this very infectious attitude of joy. We also get to see a lot of pictures of Ute's parents at the end of the movie. She looks so much like her mother, who was her very best friend, which I think is really sweet. Now, I looked at some of her older videos, and she looks very different because now her hair is dark and short. And back then, when she was singing, she was younger, had more of a light brown, long hair look to her, and of course was able to use her full body, her legs and her arms. The film gets its name from one of her new songs where she sings about keeping the spirit and wanting to live life to its fullest, saying, quote, "Life has so much more for me," end quote. Now, there were just a few things that I didn't like about the movie. First of all, people who don't know who Ute is will probably not be interested in this documentary about her and her life. It would have been fun to see video clips of Ute at her the height of her musical career at the beginning of the movie so that we could really celebrate her accomplishments with her. And it certainly would have helped viewers who aren't familiar with her get to know her better and really appreciate all that she's done in her life. Sometimes the background music is so loud to hear that it's difficult to hear what the people are saying during the interviews. So it just needed to have been toned down just a tad. Let me give you some tips for parents. Kids are going to be bored because it's, the story of an older person and they don't know who that person is. There are subtitles that often need to be read when German is spoken. For example, not everybody in the movie speaks English. There's no profanity, so that makes the movie family friendly in that regard. There's nothing offensive at all, really, from the movie. Ute is in a wheelchair during the entire film, and some people might be uncomfortable watching her and her disabilities is all. Some of the themes that are illustrated very well in the movie are expression, artistry, music, passion, love for life, family, having a positive attitude, and even the power of pets in our lives. So I always write down funny lines and interesting lines to kind of give you a taste and feel for the movies and the documentaries that I review, but I didn't write down anything funny. There wasn't anything laugh out loud, but I did write down quite a few interesting lines, and you can see them all on my written review at moviereviewmom.com. I'll share a couple of them with you right now. These are both quotes from Youth herself. She said, quote, "Life has a fine way of making twists and turns for me," end quote. And you definitely can see that as her life unfolds. And she talks about the pains and sorrows and the lessons that she's been learning throughout her life. And then another quote is when she says, "My music will touch others and teach them that you can do anything if you set your mind to it." And ultimately, that is the lesson that the movie leaves you with, a feeling of empowerment and positivity that no matter what happens, you can still live your passion and bring joy to other people's lives. All right, so let me share just 3 documentaries that I thought of instantly as I was watching this one because they're all about musicians. The first one is a recent one called Selena Gomez, My Mind and Me, available on Amazon. And I've got the links down below in case you're interested in watching any of these and want to find them quickly. Another one is about Prince called Sign of the Times. And then another older one of Lady Gaga is called Pro Rata. Now, she's had several documentaries about her, and that's just one of the earlier ones that I thought was good. And of course, Lady Gaga's career continues to go on. Same thing as Ute Lemper, as she still is producing songs that are new to audiences. So I'm always so thrilled to see what people do with their talents and how they choose them to bless other people's lives. I hope you enjoy this documentary and her music. And that's it for today. Have a fantastic rest of your day, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye for now.